You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
So anyway, JP the cop says, so then going back to the breach. So basically that conversation
is done.
Okay? That conversation.
That contradiction
moment in time.
That contradiction is done. No
done.
more questioning. If I touch you on the right shoulder, you go on. If I touch you on the left shoulder, you stop. There's somebody right behind you. We assume they're all like sitting together. No, you got them behind JP, and this shoulder means you're doing well. This shoulder means, nah, I don't think so.
Let's stay away from that.
Come on, JP.
The good thing is they actually recorded this. So Schuck
Yes.
just contradicted himself, and the cop didn't follow up.
No, nobody did.
Okay, so JP says, and when the breach happens, so now we're all the way back to the breach, right? Because they've already run out of the hallway at this point, right? And all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he says, and when the breach happens, are there Metro officers in the hallway? Like down the hallway? Or is everyone back at the center core area? Yeah. Well, we did the breach, so I mean, I'm not the smartest guy, in the world, but the cops conducted the breach. The cops then, therefore, had to be in the hallway. They're releasing all the people out of the hallway. They're in the middle. They halt, right? And they wait for the breach, and then they finish, clearing the rest of the hallway. Yes, there were cops down there.
Oh, my God. What were they wearing?
I don't know. He's probably going to ask that. So Schuck says, I believe there were some down the hallway. Because after it occurred, I took a peek at the hallway when guests were coming out. I believe I saw some down there. Yeah, dude, you probably saw about 100 of them down there at that time. We saw the videos.
All right.
So JP, the cop, says, okay. So the breach occurs. Now, we're talking about the first one. All right. So remember, just so everybody knows, if you're catching this, really kind of got to watch these in order, but in numerical and alphabetical order. That's how they go. So basically what happens is the cops clear the first half of 32-100 wing. All those people go back to the center core. They breach 32-135, and after that breach, the cops clear the rest of the hallway down to 134. All right?
Yep.
All right. And then the nanny, the lady they're talking about with the baby, was at 130.
Right. Well, there was another guy even closer.
Oh, yeah, 132.
And we don't even have his statement.
Yeah, his statement is very small. Yep.
Yeah, very small again, probably. And then there's whatever happened to all the girlfriends.
Right.
The women that he had.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
JP says, okay, so the breach occurs. The elderly female comes down, and, hey, stop calling her elderly, all right?
I would be offended.
The security officer the SWAT officer with the baby comes down, and then what happens at that point? What does it have to do with the price of bread? So Schuck says, me and I'm assuming it's Shannon because it's blacked out, the last letter is N. We're still directing people.
Thank you, blackout person.
I know, thank you. We were still directing people.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that SWAT officer went back into the hallway. I remember them talking. some of the other officers, and with some of the other officers, they said, yeah, he had already shot himself when we breached the room with a revolver. So did he shoot himself with a revolver, or had he already shot himself when we breached the room with a revolver? So I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, the time is just,
And why, honestly, man, seriously, why him and Shannon are still up there? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
When any emergency scene, you clear people out. They're not officers. Why are they up there, like acting like they're part of this?
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very odd.
Yeah.
Because I don't care who it is, or it's my scene now. You leave.
Yep.
Okay. You go down to the holding area. Get out of here before you get hurt. Go ahead.
So JP, the cop, says, okay. Schuck says, and they also said he had cameras behind the door. JP, the cop, says, okay. So you overheard that in the center core area? Schuck says, yes, I did. JP says, okay. JP, the cop, says, excellent. Special Agent Coffee, the FBI guy. Any questions? I'm assuming he's back here, but Special Agent Coffee, hey, any special agents in the room? I haven't heard from you for an hour. All right? Hey, anybody have any questions? Special Agent Coffee says, just one administrative question.
Oh, my God.
But first, that was really good detail. That was pretty traumatic situation. I know you think about it a lot, but thanks for all that detail.
Which he's really saying.
What? I can't see it. It's too far. It's too close. There you go. There you go. Talking too much. Change subject. Thanks for translating.
Oh, gosh. Anyway.
Wow. This is good. This is really good stuff.
So Special Agent.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the Special Agent thanks him for providing so much detail. Schuck says, yep. The FBI agent Coffee says, and I know you don't call yourself a hero, but now check this out. All right? Check this statement out.
I want to hear it.
It keeps getting better, I'm telling you.
You're leaving me hanging here. Now, people don't realize that I haven't seen
No, you haven't.
any of this.
Uh-uh.
I don't know what's coming up next. Now, you guys see it on top of our screen here.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the first time I hear this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What does he say? What does the special agent say to Schuck?
The FBI special agent says to Schuck, and I know you don't call yourself a hero, but I think yelling at your security guard to get out of the way, you know, may have positively affected his life in a good way. So I'd say that was a good move. Keep your head under fire. Keep your head under fire. Just have your cell phone number where the last two was it, and then it's blacked out. But what I want to get to is this. This FBI agent is saying that Schuck yelled at the security officer to get out of the way.
And he didn't.
Well, we don't know. Everything that we've heard so far is saying Campos told Schuck to get out of the way.
Correct.
This guy is saying You're a hero, Schuck, because you yelled at the security officer to get out of the way.
Didn't you? Yes, you did.
The FBI agent says that. Have you heard that before?
Not in an hour of doing this. No, everybody said the whole thing is Campos doing it.
Absolutely.
Even this guy's statement, he's rambling the whole time, Schuck, but he doesn't say that he did that.
So he's saying, I know that you don't call yourself a hero, but I think yelling at your security guard to get out of the way, may have positively affected his life in a good way. So I'd say that was a good move. Wow. Schuck says, I heard him say that. I was going to correct you after all this was over.
Okay.
So somebody's got the story wrong, right? Probably the FBI agent.
Right.
Who knows?
He's been in there the whole time.
So all this stuff is blacked out, actually. So, the FBI agent says, Schuck says, but blank, it's all blacked out. Okay, blank, it's all blacked out. All right. And JP now, the detective, says, and you know what? I wrote that down. Schuck says, yeah. And then it's all blacked out. It's crazy. Okay. Coffee, the FBI agent, says, okay, that's funny. JP, the detective, says, I apologize. Schuck says, no problem. The FBI agent says, but yeah, great detail. Thank you for that. They must have corrected him with that statement.
Yeah.
That's what I can think of.
Yeah.
So JP, the detective, says, Special Agent Fuentes, any questions? And Special Agent Fuentes says,
no.
You're correct.
No, I don't think so.
Throw away the key.
I don't think so.
Says, no, thank you. JP, the detective, says, blank. Any questions? Which is remember, there's an attorney or there's another person there, right?
Right.
So, AE is the initials, says no. I'm assuming that's the attorney. I can't remember. It's been so long since we've done this. Anyway, JP, the detective, says, okay, all right. That's his common statement. Okay, all right. Blank, is there anything else that you can think of that might be helpful? Anything that we didn't discuss or that you would like to add to your statement? Schuck says, trying to think. Well, look at your notes, Schuck. So anyway, says, I'm trying to think. As far as timeline, I'm not sure. I think we covered the times and when I heard the shooting going on. JP says, okay. Schuck says, when SWAT breached the door, I know it had been, I remember I got a phone call. Interesting. I know I got a phone call from my girlfriend.
Where's that record? Where's that?
And it was before SWAT had breached the door.
I'm telling you. Where's all these phone records at?
Yeah.
Because even in the video that you showed,
in
the last video, there's an officer in the center core probably texting his wife saying, I'm not going to be home tonight.
Right. Well, Schuck got a phone call from his girlfriend. Who's his girlfriend? And his phone. Check the phone, right? Because
phone records.
He probably had more phone calls than just that.
Yes.
That night.
Yes. Because if anybody has any of those phone records, usually it's just logged, kind of like a detailed bill, and it's all time stamped. So it's very easy to confirm or, to confirm any of this.
So
stuff.
he's saying it was before SWAT had breached the door.
Right.
Oh, that's kind of the timeline that we want.
Right.
He says, I think it was around 11:15. I believe they breached somewhere around 11:20, 11:30. I wasn't really checking the time at that time. I don't wear a watch when I'm working because it gets dirty. So I wasn't checking the time. Okay.
I have to look on that video to see if he has a watch.
So guess what? He's checking the time somewhere, obviously on his phone.
Right. Right.
Okay. JP says, okay. Schuck says, but I believe it was maybe an hour or less, 40 minutes to the hour before they breached after the initial call. He's just going back.
Just rambling.
JP, the cop says, and then just to confirm from that time that you remember that the officers were first there and by the 100 hallway, the shooting had stopped.
God bless.
Schuck says, yes. JP says, okay. Schuck says, and when the officers, the first initial officer came up. Now we're all the way back to the very beginning.
Oh my gosh. Come on, man.
First officers came up, Featherstone, right? And then guys into the center core. Blank was still there, and he said, like, quote, I think he's shooting through the peephole. Oh,
we heard that. We heard that.
But we didn't see Schuck.
No.
Schuck was not there.
No.
So he's
never been there. He's never been there except at the end when you see him in the center core.
But right here, Schuck says the first initial officers, when the first initial officers came into the core, center core, Jesus, I'm assuming, was still there, which is on video, and he said, quote, I think he's shooting through the peephole.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a pellet or a 22 or
We had access to this room. The room's at the end of the hallway, and apparently, from what he was saying, they put a bracket up on the stairwell door. Copy, on 100, on 32. And it's you look down the hallway, the last one, double doors.
the direction of shooting is probably the people, so look out for that.
End of quote. Okay? Which he did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, we heard it.
Okay, so let's finish the rest of this paragraph. And I was like, quote, yeah, the door didn't open, end quote. I didn't hear that on the video.
No.
I didn't see Schuck up there.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a pellet or a 22 or
We had access to this room. The room's at the end of the hallway, and apparently, from what he was saying, they put a bracket up on the stairwell door. Copy, on 100, on 32. And it's you look down the hallway, the last one, double doors.
the direction of shooting is probably the people, so look out for that.
Is he shooting on his way?
He was. That's how I got that.
Gonna be on the wrong Hey Zeus, yeah, just past your elevators, we can stop the.
What room is the number?
1-3 track.
On the very end. The double doors on the very end. 3.
No, you just
I know, I just don't want to.
Go ahead. Come here. Copy. Huh? You have a. Or UTF. No, UTF. Probably the barrel. We know. Yeah. Oh, I got it. Just go down to the basement, every fire piece, and then surround those elevators, turn the wall.
And the crystal room. Come on. Is he okay?
Go.
Radio.
Tell them thank you, but right now we've got 2 ships out. We should be okay for now. We haven't done ice on half. You're gonna be dead over here from this way. Line the corner this way.
Oh,
Elevator. You're gonna have a dead spot with the radio. Just go around the corner.
159?
35.
Is there anyone else to get in there besides down this hallway?
Say what?
Is there any other way to get down there to it?
There's a stairwell on every single floor, but they've got it bracketed off.
What kind of?
Say again, Jesus. Hey, listen.
Downstairs, it has to be by the elevator. They're screaming.
We're at 2 bedroom up here. That's some crazy guy in the basement. Can I get people down there? Go in your room. You might want to get out. You may want to move on down there. You get officers down the basement with some nutty guy there with no shirt on. By the kitchen shop. Brian, no traffic unless it's involved in this stuff.
Schuck continues and says, we didn't hear a door or see a door. I mean, the whole hallway is full of doors, by the way. That's what a hotel hallway looks like. But anyway,
Jeez.
we didn't hear a door, see a door. I don't think that door opened at all when he was firing. And we told the officers that because I didn't want, we told the officers that because I didn't want them to expect the door basically to be open before the fire, before the shots. I didn't want, to get shot. I'm going to tell you, this paragraph right here is very, very concerning. Okay, so let me reread this thing because this is crazy, dude. And we're at the end, right? So basically this is his last paragraph.
Right.
Schuck says, when the officers, the first initial officers came up into the center core,
Okay.
Jesus was still there, and Jesus said, quote, I think he's shooting through the people. And I was like, quote, yeah, that door didn't open.
Dude, that video, we hear Jesus say that.
Yes.
But Schuck is nowhere around, man.
No.
And you're going to be playing that video after this paragraph. Go ahead.
And these guys continue to say they didn't know where the shots were coming from.
Right.
So, okay. So anyway, he says, was like, yeah, let me just read this whole damn thing because this is crazy. So
Go ahead, man.
When the first initial officers came into the center core, Jesus was still there, and he said, like, quote, I think he's shooting through the and I was like, quote, yeah, the door didn't open, end quote. We didn't hear a door, see a door. I don't think that door opened at all when he was firing, and we told the officers that because I didn't want them to expect the door to open before the fire, before the shots. I didn't want, to get shot. Okay. So JP says, Sure. JP, the cop, says sure. Schuck says, so we warned them. We warned them. We warned them, and I believe 2 or 3 officers made their way down. I believe so. JP says, okay. Schuck says, I can't be exactly sure. JP, the cop, says, all right, operator, this ends the interview. Same people are present. Ends at 18:20.
Wow. It's a long interview, longest so far. And he wasn't even up there. He says he was, but he wasn't. I love all the videos that you're able to get from the Las Vegas Police Department.
Well, and they're all angles.
Every angle, yeah, from different cops. I mean, it's beautiful.
I mean,
I love it.
Schuck's not like in a uniform. I mean, hell, we've paid so much attention to colors and uniforms.
Right.
You know, in this statement, we know he's in a blue uniform.
Correct.
And he's a big guy in there.
Yes.
It's hard to miss.
Why he's still in the center core with Shannon, the engineer supervisor, who knows?
Right.
Because they shouldn't be. They're not police officers. They have no business being up there. And why they didn't evacuate them, they're not part of this thing.
He
so
wasn't
that
there.
That right there throws another red flag up for me.
And Jesus Campos, in both of his sworn statements, does not mention Schuck at all.
No, in both. And if you want to see that, go back to Jesus Campos. He has 2 sworn statements. One taken the night of, which was very quick, and one taken a few days later, which was very quick. So, yeah, terrible.
All right.
I think it's good.
Lucky
man.
Schuck.
Lucky Schuck, man.
Now,
Whether it's the real Lucky Schuck or not, I don't know, because we've got some good footage of who the real one is, but it doesn't look like the one again on Ellen. And I was just looking at reviewing again some of those old pictures of people that posted. Ellen just had a fake Campos picture. The Campos that got the award, and the Campos that was up there with her.
Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 different Campos pictures.
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole thing's whacked out, man. Yeah. And oh man, it's just disturbing. It's disturbing, and I feel sorry for them. So for the victims, feel sorry for the victims. So
yeah.
But
all right, man.
All right. Well, hello. So what's next, man?
I think we're gonna do Shannon next, and then you know, there's a lot. I mean, because once we get into the police statements,
right,
and the dispatch and the room, but we really need to do Shannon and then the room, the autopsy. I mean, we're getting there, right? We're getting there,
right?
And so none of it makes sense, actually.
No.
But I think it probably makes sense. But somebody has thrown in a lot of these pieces that to really confuse the whole situation.
I think they have.
Yeah.
But those videos are spot on, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you can verify so many things just after someone gives a statement. You just play the video like you've been doing.
Oh sure.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Hey, you know, it's funny because when we we're talking about the shots being fired supposedly out the windows, right? And we know that we've been told, you know, supposedly the rifles, you know, shot at the fuel tanks, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some
flashes.
Yeah,
something like that,
right?
Yeah.
And then a machine gun fires over, you know, with all the people in the crowd and all this stuff.
Right.
You realize, though, that the vans that Jason Aldean was in, right? There's like big Greyhound looking
the buses. Yeah.
That shots were through those.
They were through those?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they were parked, but I didn't know they were.
I'll have to show the video because it appears that if they were shot through. So just think about it this way.
The angle is what I'm asking.
If it's shot through one side and it comes out the other side,
right?
It obviously didn't come from above.
Well, that's why I wanted to see what the angles were. I'm sure somebody's done an analysis on that.
I'll show you. Did you hear the buses were ever shot?
I didn't hear the buses were shot.
I know you.
I don't think Jason Aldean even said the buses were shot.
We'll see.
But there was a lot of. Hey, I think there was multiple shooters. So I really believe that, and things like that. You know, I think because you can hear it on the dispatch from different guys that were on the ground.
Right.
So, but
maybe Paddock had a magic gun that he could shoot, and then it would go straight.
Right. Well, see, still we don't have anything from the fourth floor.
Nothing from the fourth floor.
Fourth floor, there was shooting.
Right.
60th floor.
Yeah.
Why was Schuck up there?
There was a leak.
Supposedly doing a water leak. You know. So yeah, and then why do they remain in the center core on the 32nd floor? Mm-hmm. You know, that's very odd to me because in just a murder of one,
right,
you would take somebody out of that scene.
Yeah.
So they don't spoil the scene. It's evidence. Yeah. You know. So and getting someone out of an emergency situation so they don't get hurt. You know, they don't get paid to get hurt. These police officers do. Mm-hmm. These guys act like they're part of it. So a lot of questions, but I really think phone records.
Right.
I'm really surprised that we haven't been able to get phone records from Campos because he used a cell phone. We just found out Schuck used his cell phone.
Yep.
I guarantee you that there was probably the nanny. Definitely would probably calling DJ's DJ Snake was it?
DJ Silver.
DJ Silver.
Silver said they texted each other.
Exactly. Time stamped.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone had a phone, and
everyone has a phone
on their phone.
Even Paddock.
Even Paddock. He had 3. I think he had 3 phones. I don't know.
So somebody's got to have the phone records.
It's
got to be in the evidence.
We'll get into all the Paddock stuff. Actually, Paddock had 3 or 4 phones because that's how they knew he went to Mesquite back to his house because they followed the phone. Now, they're assuming that was him going back and forth. Right? So there's a lot of assumptions here. The phone went.
Yeah.
Do we know if he was there? I don't know. But
and the women he was with. Everybody has phones these days.
Everybody.
So and they're all texting or doing something.
Right.
You know.
Follow
the phone. So if anybody has any of the phone records, we need to have some phone records, man. They're somewhere. Yeah. They are somewhere. Yeah. So if they're shooting out videos, bad terminology there, but if they're posting videos on an archive like that of this whole thing, it's up there. Mm-hmm. We should have phone records. There should be a phone record archive that it's out there somewhere. So love to get our hands on those.
That's right. Oh, man.
All right. Remember,
the truth hurts, baby.
Ouch. I love these signs, man. I love them.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.